obsessed with 10 by 10. So let's get to training. So I don't know if am I controlling this? Oh, perfect. So first and foremost, it all starts in your mind, right? Because it's whatever you think about, however you think about determines your actions. Whatever your actions are is going to determine your results. So how you think about 10 by 10 is going to determine all your results and how serious you take it. When you become a 10 by 10 player, automatically you know how to produce. And did you guys know that when you produce, right, no sarcasm at all, you make money, right? Tanya Poe, she said that in the first in the first 8 or 7 months, she realized she only made an extra $2,000. Now she was part-time, spare time really. She was working already 2 jobs, but she said, maybe if I fight to win an incentive and produce more, I'll make more money. And she did, right? With or without the recruiting, she could have done it with or without that. But here's the cool part. You don't have to recruit her, you get to recruit here. But when you become a producer, you automatically can teach other people how to produce, how to make money. That puts you in a position to become a trainer. And once you become a trainer and you can do it over and over and over again, the same thing with every single type of person, right? And you start getting that consistency in place, you start having the same conversations just with different people, then enough duplication comes into place. All of a sudden, you keep your head down, you look up a few months later, and you see 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, or however you compress your time frames, you see all this duplication, you yourself, into these new players that you probably haven't even met yet today because you haven't even prospected them. RVP happens ASAP after that. And you only need 6 district leaders and above that are producing consistently to become an RVP, to earn the right to be an RVP. When you are just by yourself, it's cool because you don't really have to deal with, training people because that takes time, investment of time. But listen, you should be training multiple people, which Shondel's going to get to in a second because I don't want to take her training, but you should be training more than just one person. And it should be so uncomfortable for you if you don't have enough people to train. When you look up who is next to you, I'm going to talk about attendance later, but when you look up who else cares about your attendance, when you look up who else cares about your team goals, right? And how big is your team goal? If your team goal is only 3 by 2,500, how many people can you fit under that goal, right? You want to put a goal out there like a 10 by 10 goal so that you can fit more people under that goal. It's not just about you. It's not you doing 10 by 10. It's you and a couple other teammates that do 10 by 10. And then you start to multiply. You don't add by your own activity. You multiply through everybody else's efforts. You no longer are working 24 hours in the day. You're working 24 hours times 5 other people's 24 hours. Now, all of a sudden, 100 hours are getting worked out throughout the day. But first and foremost, leading from the front starts with you. Once you become a top producer, now you set the tone for your team. The speed, write this down, guys. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. The quicker you get on Zoom, right? This morning I sent a couple of dollars for some coffee for the first few teammates that got on Zoom at 9:20 a.m. sharp. Not 9:21, but 9:20, right? You getting on sooner than later sets the tone for the rest of your team. You producing sooner than later sets the tone for your team. You leading from the front sets the tone for the team, and Rod has done that. So I'm just so excited to hear Shondell interview Rod really quick because I really haven't heard Rod train ever. I don't think any of us had. And to hear a brand new person, it's so much different than you guys hearing from me and Shondell. And I know you guys sometimes may be thinking, man, they've been around for a couple of years. They know what they're doing, but that's not me. Well, listen, Rod, he's newer than us. Take every single note down because if he's in a similar position than you and he's doing more, it's just because of what he's doing. So take down everything, guys, because I'm taking notes as well. Give it up for Rod. I'm so proud of you.
Awesome. Guys, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Rod. We're super excited to interview you this morning. I know you had a standout month last month. I know you're probably going to talk about your numbers so you can go over some of that, but I just want to introduce Rod, and I don't know, is Tony on with you? Is you this morning?
No, she's not. We're out of town right now, and she's not available right now.
Okay, awesome, cool. With that, we're just really excited. I'm super excited also because you're a product under Dante 10X, and I know I came from that as well. So it's exciting to see you
Right.
there as well. But we know your division leaders last month brought in 14 clients last month, guys, which means, what is that? That's a client every other day, almost, pretty much, right? Because there's
Right.
30 days in a
Right.
month. So that is absolutely amazing, unbelievable. So what we want you to do first is just say a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, so people can know a little bit about you guys, what brought you into the business, and then I have some questions here for you.
Okay, guys, I'm so excited to be on today. You know, when I got the text last night, I really couldn't believe it. But I'm here. I'm out of town right now. I'm up in Fort Drum, north of New York. That's way up there. And my daughter and her son is up here. They're in the military. But I'm retired military. My wife and I have a tax business that we started back in 2004. And I was approached by Dante in a Costco. And I've seen the presentation before, you know, but I really didn't click, you know. But I really wanted to give my clients additional services, right? Tax is one thing, but when you hear the same story every year, well, I'm gonna give like $5,000, you know, I'm gonna go buy some new tires. I think this year I'm gonna put a flat screen inside the bedroom, whatever, or inside the bathroom, whatever, right? You know, get you out of here now. You want to be able to help your clients, you know, plan for their money, right? So I'm kind of involved in the business, you know, and I was doing myself a long time, you know, and I went to the conference a couple of years ago, and I was so excited. My wife got involved. She joined the business, got licensed, you know. We started building our team from there. But the cool thing about it is that, you know, you really, really, really I feel like you're helping people. You know, this is what it's all about. You know, we're upon this earth, right, to serve one another, you know, and you in this business, you're really helping people. So that's what I love so much about it. So that's me.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, former military, that's amazing. Just continuing to serve you guys together. So with that, so 14 clients. So let's start off with how the beginning of the process. How did you start setting these appointments up? And then that could potentially tie into where did the clients come from? So how did you get the appointments set up? I don't know if you have any numbers, how many you set, anything like that.
I'll tell you what happened is that I realized that, you know, we are blessed to have a business. They have so many vehicles that really help us be successful in this business. But for me, it's the video, right? And I know that if I can send a video out to people, you know, 5 people a day, you know, I respond from that, you know, and build my client base on that. And that's what's been working for me, right? But unfortunately, I had a cousin that passed a week and 3 weeks ago. And back in April, when he got his tax refund back and said, hey, man, you need to get some life insurance. You're married, you got 3 kids, you know. His response was, no, cuz I'm good, right? And in May, he found out he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And in August, he passed away. And so I think about the story because I say, you know, what I could have said, what I could have done, you know, to make him get life insurance, right? You know, he could have got a burial policy for $15 a month, right? But, you know, and unfortunately, we had to raise money to bury him. So from that, sending those videos out and having that in my heart, every time I talk to people, you know, almost forced me to call people, forced me to start, say, you know what, it's what you need to do. It's what you need to do. So I've been working from that.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you have an idea of how many appointments you are setting like per week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were sitting with from the 20 to 25 appointments a week, you know, and I would, of course, with the video, you know, you do follow-up things like that, you know, but I was closing, like you said, about one appointment every other day is what we was doing. So that's the numbers we have for that.
Awesome. Perfect. So walk these new people through the process of, like, I know you were sending the text messages. So what are you just reaching out to people you know, people you don't know, people you prospect? Are you just sending a text and then getting them scheduled? What do you do there?
Well, I have a different business model than most people because I have a tax business, right? We have over 500 clients nationwide, right? And if I was to, I need to hire somebody to go through all my clients to make sure they get the information, right? But what I do, I take a little bit every day, a little bit every week, whatever, you know, and process that. And just a text message, hey, I've just expanded some new services to my business. I want you to take a look at it. We got it in the video. Can you check it out for me? Sure, right? I send it out. If they watch it, I get back with them as soon as possible, right? But keep in mind, my mindset is trying to serve them. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just trying to serve them. Granted, people tell me no, right? But I keep it moving because I got people to call, right? You know, and that's how I keep on pace with what I'm trying to go, you know, because I can't get stuck on, oh, this guy don't like the video, or they don't like me. What am I doing wrong? Blah, blah, blah. No, I keep it moving. To tell me no so I can move on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me going.
That's a good mentality. So last couple things here. So what any examples that you saw throughout those 14 clients where you were like, wow, we really made a dramatic difference in their life from what they maybe had previously to what you were able to help them do? Maybe one example.
Well, KT presentation has these examples all laid out, and I have a guy that I've been talking to for like a couple of years now, right? And just this past week, I said, man, really gonna get your life insurance. I told him about my story about my cousin, right? He said, Rod, man, I don't think I can afford it, man, because I smoke, right? I said, let's run the numbers, right? I sat down with him and his wife, right? And he had a budget of $100, and we both got him covered for less than $100. And he was so excited. I could have done this a long time ago. So I've been trying to tell you that, right? So like I said, with that mindset of serving someone, you know, you're right. You're not trying to really make the sale. You're just trying to make sure they get properly protected. And that's our mantra. That's what we're going with. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Last question, because we're in a new month into September already here. And I know you already hit the board. So what's your mentality going into this month as far as backing up what you guys did last month, or maybe beating that? Maybe if you have any goals, confession leads to obsession, what you have going on for this month?
Well, you know, I'm telling you something. I did my son's barber. We got her covered like a week and a half ago, and her mom has a beauty shop, right? And so I did I got her mom on a vivid system, you know, things like that. And she was about to cancel because she didn't like the guy, whatever, you know. But I went over there to the shop and walked her through everything, make sure she was taken care of. And from that alone, I'm writing up her with $1 million policy, all her employees, and her 2 older kids.
Wow.
So that's you know, going back to servicing, because she told me, so Rod, if you hadn't came over here, I probably would have canceled the system, right? But I knew I had to go over there and give her all the service that she needed. You know, so now, you know, I'm a staple for her. Now I got the model now to do the same thing with other beauty shops and barber shop, things like that. So that's my goal.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Rod. I mean, hey guys, I hope you're taking a lot of notes. Again, when you're hearing from new people, it's absolutely amazing just to hear the things that they do, the mindset you have. We are making a difference in people's lives. And if you go in, the thing that I heard the most was serving people. If you go in, just helping people, focusing on helping them, because this is real, guys. This is life, and people pass away. We got to help protect them. That's the crusade. So thank you so much, Rod, for being up here. Hope to have you back again on training. So keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to continue moving on, guys. So talking about what to focus on to do 10 by 10. Why did we bring this up? I know Jen was talking a little bit about us being on the trip this past week, which was absolutely unbelievable. But when you go there, you got to pick people's brains. And so the last thing that I heard when we were there, we got a chance to speak to Omar Oropeza, and he was like, hey, you have to make sure you're building teams. And so we were like, okay, what's a team to you? He said 10 by 10, somebody that can be doing 10 by 10, excuse me, and then have anywhere from 20 to 30 codes under them. That makes you know that you can build somebody else outside of you, right? So that's very, very important. First, number one, you got to get to doing 10 by 10 yourself. But then just like Jen said, you got to duplicate yourself and build another 10 by 10. So it's very, very important to continue doing that. So how does that start? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the activity. What are things that you can focus on to get that going? So number one, daily activity is key. If you are brand new and you're just getting things going, just focus on setting up a schedule for yourself. If you're working throughout the throughout the day, or you're working in the evening, make sure that you set aside some time to do some type of prospecting activity or setting appointments activity. So either you're going to say, okay, I'm going to set an hour aside for lunch, or like Shaq always has taught us, anybody that might be leaning towards full time, your first 3 hours of your day, prospect, get your recruiting appointments set up, send out your text messages like Rod sends out, right? I make a lot of phone calls through three-way text messages for my current recruits that I'm working with, that I'm training. So with that, make sure you have daily activity and a schedule. But then through that daily activity, make sure you're focusing on getting something accomplished, right? We call it win the day. I know us in our team, we run that, and Jen runs that. A lot of people have been setting up different types of winning the day activities, because you don't want to let a day go by. I mean, Rod was closing a sale every other day, guys. So you can do that, but you got to have a focus on what you want to accomplish daily. Have that daily focus. Then from there, that's going to kind of lead to continuing growing your attendance, and through that, double-digit recruiting. So if you have daily activity, that's going to lead up to having a good week. And then by the time you get to the end of the week, hopefully your attendance grows. I know Jen's going to talk about that, right? But if you're not doing that daily activity, you're also not going to double-digit recruit, because you have to be personally recruiting, and then you have to have recruit through your team tap rooting, right, as well. So attendance and double-digit recruiting is a major part of how you're going to get to the point of doing 10 by 10. So, and for anyone that doesn't know what DDR or double-digit recruiting is, that's just 10 recruits, bringing in 10 new teammates in a month. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 10 personal, like direct recruits to you. But if I recruit Jen brings in 3 people, then I recruit Rod brings in 3 people. Hey, now we have Jen, Rod, that's 2 people, 3 and 3, 6, that's 8 people, right? And then 2 more people throughout the team, and now you've hit 10 as a team overall. That's double-digit recruiting. So then from there, you want to focus on getting to a 10K base. So with you and your entire team, that's your base shop, you want to bring in 10,000 in production, which on average is about 10 sales in a month, right? So we had Rod, he said he had 14 clients, right? So 14 sales in a month. That's why he spoke. But hey, you want to get to the point to where you're doing 10,000 in the base. And that could be through referrals. It can be through field training. It can be through just personal sales. If you go out and meet people, we were talking to Tanya Poe, and she was like, hey, I think we asked I think Jen had asked, hey, if somebody is stuck at district or division or getting their next promotion, what do they do? She's like, nobody's stuck. Everybody always knows what they need to do. They just need to do it, right? So with that, she said that, imagine, we as like a recruiting and building organization, we talk about prospecting, going out and prospecting, getting 10 names and numbers a day for someone to join our business. She was saying, if you just go out to the store and you do that exact same thing, but just ask somebody, hey, do you have life insurance? Who knows? She's like, if you do that every single day and talk to multiple people, you're going to get sales, right? So I never thought about that. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy, right? But everybody has different things. And as long as you talk to people, you can bring in that production. Everybody needs life insurance. Everybody needs life insurance. So 10K base, that's through you and through your team. Then personally, you want to focus on doing 4 by 10,000. 4 by 10,000. So 4 personal recruits, 10,000 personal premium. So that should be a standard on getting to the point of leading from the front as a leader on your team. Because if you can do it yourself personally, then obviously you're going to hit that 10K base. But then now you can show people, hey, there's a carbon copy. If you do this yourself, you just teach somebody else how to do that. Now, if you have you plus 2 10K legs showing up, you can be an RVP, because now you're doing 10, then you have 2 other people doing 10. Now you're doing 30 by 30 and can get promoted to become a vice president. So that's huge. And then you have to have a system, right? Building a franchise. Shaq talked about this a couple months ago, but you got to focus on having a system to where people can come in, follow that system, and come out. And I think we believe that 10 by 10 is one of those major areas to work with, right? Because then that's going to lead you as a team to 20 by 20 and 30 by 30. But make sure you know what to do from start to finish, right? What having a system building a franchise, McDonald's knows, number one, when they bring on a new franchisee, they go through a training period, they go through a class, they go through becoming a manager, what everything has to happen in that restaurant. And then from there, then they can open the shop, they get the keys. And so it's the exact same thing here, guys. You got to know what you're going to do with your system when a new recruit starts. What are you going to do focusing on licensing? How are you going to get that going? Then getting them through the field training process, helping them focus on building their attendance, all of those different aspects throughout your business. So you can have a system where you're just constantly producing more people that are doing 10 by 10,000. So that's what I have, some of the things to focus on, guys. Jen is now going to talk about attendance.
All right, guys. Everything that Shondell was talking, it's true. I just want to piggyback off of the interview that she did with Rod. I just want to highlight some things before I get into attendance, because you guys heard what Shondell already, magnified as far as serving the client. I may be really intense, guys, but if people don't feel the passion from you, then they think you're for sale. They think they can just walk all over you. They think they can break your focus. You don't want somebody to feel that way about you. If you are going through, a war zone, right? They got to feel like, hey, Tamika can take me through this war zone. She ain't soft. Somebody coming in here, she ain't soft. She can take that person, right? Tasha, she ain't soft, right? But when you go through your daily activity and you do just one post a day, then you start with that and you go 2 posts a day, then 3 posts a day, that's where the attendance starts. It starts with Telegram, guys. It starts with your environment. What did Rod just say? He said he's been around for a few years, but until he went to the conference, he didn't start building until he went to an event. He didn't start building until he went to an event. What if he didn't go to that event? It's not what it costs you to show up to an event or whatever time it is that you're thinking in your mind. It's what costs you not to be there. It's not what it costs you to turn off your video because you're afraid somebody's going to judge you for the crooked ponytail you got on your head, right? It's literally what it costs you not to show your video because your teammates are watching you. You are part of this environment. That's how you build an attendance, right? And secondly, right, I know this is the first note, but I just wanted to put that out there because, man, I would love a Rod to override. I don't know who got on stage, but I think it was, I don't know who said it, Shonda. I don't know if you remember, but somebody got on stage, one of the $1 million earners, and he said, it was Mallard, the Mallards. Mallard got on stage, $1 million earner. He goes, man, all these rides at Disney World, at Universal Studios, I went on this ride and that ride. The Harry Potter ride was awesome. But you know what I figured out my favorite ride is? An override. An override, right? How can you override somebody if you don't sell the meeting? Think about it, right? The people that show up, the people that do something each single month, Alan on our team has been on for 2 weeks on the board. That's a big, huge deal for somebody brand new, right? Who's still at a senior rep level. But somebody like Rod, you think he got here by accident without showing up? You think he got by accident without showing up with his video on? Without his video on, you know what I mean? Like, we got to participate and show up and actually show up, right? And we got to sell the meeting as if it's like the biggest meeting in the whole wide world. The most important meeting is always the next meeting. And the best meeting is the meetings you don't want to go to and the meetings you don't want to go to. Every single meeting adds to your arsenal. Every single meeting is a piece to your puzzle. But if it's just you, how much can you compound your growth if you're not selling the meeting for your teammates, right? You see somebody missing at 9:20 a.m., give them a call, right? They need to be showing up right on time. And on time is early, not late. Showing up on time is late. That's why we say, hey, people on the winning team, we show up at 9:20. We don't show up at 9:31. That's not a winning team mentality but everyone wants to be part of a winning team, right? But listen, attendance is a mentality, guys. You show up not for you, you show up for your team. You show up to make sure your team gets something and you get something first, right? Your people, bringing people is going to be the key to this. Let me break down our attendance really quick. And our attendance right now, 37 is not a lot. I know some of you guys think it's a lot. It's really not a lot. 100 is a lot. Having imagine if this was your meeting. Imagine if you were Shaq. If you had 130 people on this Zoom, what would your income look like? How about 50,000 in your bank account like Shaq has, right? Every single month. Hey, who wants that? I know I do, right? Me do. But imagine 140 people on your team showing up. How would you show up if you had 140 people coming? Well, how do you earn that if you don't show up like that, right? If you recruit to build 10 plus in weekly attendance, that's how you're going to build your 10,000. As long as you have 10 people a week showing up. Why? Because 20% of your attendance will do 80% of the work. Write that down. 20% of your attendance will do 80% of the work. So if you have 9 people showing up, that is less than 2. Can you have a 0.9% of a person? No. Maybe if their name is Jen Lee and they're small like me, right? But hey, listen, you can't have a percentage of a person. You can have one, you got one other, and one other, and one other. These are whole human beings, right? But if you have 9 people or less, you got only 1 point something of a person that is your superstar. And guess who that superstar is?